Excellence is never an accident. It is always a result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution by Aristotle. So, this podcast is all about how to make habits stick. And I wanted to read that quote from Aristotle because habits, they truly are something that you have to be intentional and you really have to focus on. It's not something that just kind of happens, if you will. No one kind of just happens to build a house or happens to build a business. These aren't things that just happen by themselves, but there has to be a lot of intention put to those things. Even when you see someone that's, walking around with six pack abs or that's like really buff, really in shape, that stuff doesn't just naturally happen. It's a result of just putting time and effort into a certain goal that they're working towards. And that's what habits is all about. If there's one thing that I quote the most out of all my therapy sessions and out of all my coaching sessions is this: James Clear's book on atomic habits. Habits is at the core of everything that we do and everything that we are. You are what you repeatedly do. That may be another quote that you've heard. And that is so, so true. You know, habits are something that gives us freedom. It's not a prison sentence. And for a lot of people, they see it as that. They see getting up at 6 a.m., 5 a.m., or whatever time you get up, right? They see that as something that's hard because you're forced to do it. But what happens is that by getting up at that time, you're given something else in return, something a lot more better than feeling forced or feeling like you're trapped by this habit. And that's the freedom of, let's say, the rest of your day, the freedom of diseases and illness and ailments, right? Because you're going to the gym. And that is just an example with going to the gym, but habits is a way to systemize your life so you actually have more free time to do what it is that you want to do. I think a great example of this is meal prepping. And this is something that I really, really, really want to get into this year. By doing meal prepping, it frees you up for the rest of the next 4 or 5 days, however long you have, so that now you don't have to think about what you have to cook. You don't have to actually spend time cooking. And best of all, you don't have to clean the dishes after every single time that you cook because it's already done for you. But by putting in that habit, look at how much time you're saving from the cooking, from the cleaning, from the running to the restaurant and buying stuff, right? Like you're saving a lot of time. And also, you're probably saving a lot of money as well. And that's the freedom that you get when it comes to habits. So, in this podcast, I'm gonna talk about 4 quick things that you can do to actually make these habits stick. So, the first point is something that's very simple, but you actually have to go out there and do this, okay? So, execution, as Aristotle was saying, it is very, very important. So, the first main point is this: find someone to hold you accountable. This could be a coach, this could be someone that you live with, or this could be someone who's on the same journey as you that is willing to collaborate with you. A task that I had one of my clients do who are looking to get in better shape, right? They're looking to eat better and get in better shape and all that stuff so they can have that beach body. And one thing that I told them to do is to have their daughter sign a contract with them saying that anytime you find me eating fast food, I will pay you X amount of dollars, okay? And it may have been like $5 or $10, right? Something that they can definitely do. And for them, it's something that has just enough pain to make them say, you know what, this McDonald's or Burger King is not worth it. Let me go and cook something or go to a better place to grab something to eat. What this accountability does is it helps us to not to have to rely on our own willpower. The more people you have in your corner holding you down, the more likely you are to stick to that habit. And you could think of this as like nails or stakes that's being driven into the ground to keep a tent while the wind is gustling. That's what we want to do. That's how we should see accountability partners. And this is also why a lot of people decide to join a fitness class rather than going to the gym by themselves, because it's the fitness instructor and the people that's joining the class that's going to hold them accountable, that's going to be looking for them if they don't show up to the next class. So this is a simple one. Just simply find an accountability partner. Second one, and I love this. If you ever worked with me, you know this is something that I'm famous for saying. But what you want to do to make a habit stick, right? So another point to make habits stick is that you want to funnel each habit through a bigger meaning. Okay. So I'll give you an example. So for me, going to the gym is all about getting my day started on the right time so that I can build a great business. Ironically, it has nothing to do with my body or anything like that or my health. Those are just simply the benefits. But I know that if I get up and if I'm in the gym by 5 a.m. or 5:30 a.m., there's a high likely chance that I'm gonna get home by a certain time before my son and before my wife gets up, which will allow me to actually work on my business. Now, why do I need that in place? Well, what you want to do, and you'll see this later on, is you want to string habits together, right? You want to string habits together so that there's a sense of structure within your day. There have been times where I said, you know what? I'm not going to go to the gym and I'm just going to get straight to work. And ironically, on those days, I'm pretty late to getting to work to the point where everybody's up now and now I have to put this task off to the next day, right? Like you want to make sure that you have something that's going to guarantee that you start a certain habit, okay? And in James Clear's book, he calls these commitment devices, okay? Commitment devices. Now, there are other reasons why I do go to the gym. And again, the health, getting my body in shape, those are bonuses. But I also love this idea of curiosity. Because what I see in the gym, I see that for myself in my business, meaning by seeing myself grow and develop in the gym from the amount of weight that I can lift and all this other stuff, I am able to translate that belief into my craft, into my work, into my business. Because if I believe that I can start from, a very small weight, a very, let's say, novice skill set, and now develop it to be something that is very masterful, I'm going to take more actions a lot quicker than someone who doesn't believe that is the case for them. And I talked about that in one of my previous podcasts when I talked about the indicators of success, okay? So this stuff is all tied together, all right? So again, you want to funnel your habits through a bigger and greater meaning. All right, number 3, and this one comes straight from James Clear, and I love it. And it's something that I have to keep reminding myself of as well. But remember, when it comes to your habits, you're always only 2 minutes away, right? You're only 2 minutes away from starting that habit again. Sometimes we think that habits take this great big lift for us to complete. That's not the case. Some days, all you have to give may be 65%. You may not have that 100% to give. But my question for you is, are you giving that 65%? Or are you bowing out completely because it's not 100% that you can give? There have been times when I was going through my whole, workout journey, and I'm still on that journey, where there were times where I just went to the gym for 30 minutes and I had to get out of there because I needed to start my day at a certain time. But that 30 minutes in the gym is way better than 0 minutes in the gym. And because that is my belief, I'm still able to string together wins when it comes to this part of my life. So for you, I would ask, what does a 2-minute drill look like for you when it comes to this next habit that you're trying to build? If it's reading, ask yourself, can I just read for 2 pages, right? You could probably finish that maybe in less than 2 minutes. If it's eating better, can you take 2 minutes and maybe tell the order or the waiter, hey, you know what, scratch that. I'm gonna order from the vegan side or from the lifestyle side or whatever it is they call like the healthy side of the menu now, right? It takes you 2 minutes to do that. So remember, you're never too far to get back on track. You're always only 2 minutes away from getting back to your habits. And then number 4, this is something that I've kind of already alluded to, but I want to make sure that I take time to acknowledge it. But point number 4, you should place your habits in a system of other habits. And I give you guys a great example. One thing that I absolutely struggled with was giving my parents a phone call. My parents live in South Carolina and I'm here in South Florida. So that's about 600 miles, and obviously they're there. I can, at any time, shoot them a text and things like that. But I really want to make an emphasis to get on the phone and call them because it's a little more personal, right? Plus they're older. So by the time they read my text, a week has gone by. And now whatever I was asking them, I forgot. So what I do now, right, to help me to not go weeks without calling them is that I'll call my parents as I'm driving to pick up my son or when I'm driving back from the daycare from getting my son. And the reason why is because I'm in the car and there's nothing else for me to do other than drive, right? And I'm doing it safely because I have, the Bluetooth and all that stuff in. But as I'm driving, there's nothing else that I can do other than driving, right? That's essentially it. So my thing is, well, I'm going to pick my son up every day. So why not add a small habit of calling my parents during that time that I'm picking them up? So now it feels as though, and my dad wouldn't say this, and I don't think this is true, but my dad may be like, man, Phil, you calling me too much. But it's because I've stacked that habit with something that's already naturally going to happen. And because of that, it's very hard for me now to go a week, let alone 2 days, without calling my parents. And that's because I placed that habit in a system of other habits. So, what I would ask you is, what's something that you're already doing on a daily basis? And how can you place this new habit in the middle, at the beginning, or at the end of that said habit? So I want to read these 4 main points again to help you to make these habits stick. So the first one was to find someone to hold you accountable. This could be a coach, this could be somebody that you live with, or even someone that's on the same journey as you. The second, funnel each habit through a bigger meaning. How can you take the main goal or the main reason for this habit and make it as a bonus? That would be a big challenge I would love to give to you. How can you make the main reason, right? The initial main reason for you building this habit, how can you actually make that a bonus, right? So meaning you have to find something else that's a little bit more meaningful. Like, what's a bigger reason why you should be eating healthy? Is it so that you can have more energy, have a longer life, right? Is it to boost your mood? What is it? Or is it to maybe help your spouse or the people in your household to see what healthy eating looks like? And maybe you're doing that out of a sense of love, right? You see how I was able to curve in this new, really big, like, benefit to eating healthy? See if you can do that with your habits. The third one, remember that you're always 2 minutes away from starting a habit again. All right, and that comes straight from James Clear. And then the fourth one, place habits in a system of other habits that you're already doing, therefore making it hard for you not to do the habit any longer, right? So, with that being said, this is Coach Wells, and again, I want to read this quote from Aristotle. He says that excellence is never an accident, it is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. All right, guys, make sure you subscribe to this podcast, and I'll see you later.